Hi friends, welcome back to another Pick a Card Tarot reading. My name is JP and this is Junodrome Tarot. So today we have another yes or no pick a card reading. That means these are tarot readings here to answer your yes or no question. Before we get in on that, I just want to let everybody know I announced this during my last reading, but we are currently celebrating 1,000 subscribers. So a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed recently. If you're new to the channel or if you've been tuning in for a long time, your subscriptions really do help me out. We're getting, it's like such a big milestone to be at this point, so I just want to thank everybody. As a part of that thanks, currently all of my private readings are now 20% off. You can find information on that on the website. And then something else that's really big is that there is a drawing to win a free reading with me. 2 lucky viewers are going to win 1 free tarot reading, and then 1 lucky viewer is going to win some kind of tarot care package from me. It'll probably have some of this obsidian, maybe a piece or 2 of this obsidian I collected myself in Oregon, as well as maybe a few other things, and a handwritten thank you note from me for tuning into the channel. So you can find all that information on the website at www.junodrome.com. Feel free to check that out to find out information. So back to the video here. What we're doing today is another yes or no reading. These are really the favorites I've found for the viewers, so I'm throwing them in the mix a little bit more regularly right now. Obviously, I'm going to be doing a ton of readings on other subjects as well. So right now, I'm considering doing an every other schedule. If that you think you like that, not, let me know either way in the comments. I love hearing from everybody, and I would always love to hear your suggestions. If there's a theme or a certain topic you'd like me to cover in a tarot reading, let me know. I would love to do that. So anyway, there are 5 piles for you to choose from right now. In a moment, I'm going to share with you the piles up close so you can choose which one you feel intuitively drawn to. And after that, I will see you in your pile and we will get to your reading. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful day. See you in the reading. Hi there, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You chose the pile with this funny mushroom card. And then, I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but there's these ginkgo leaves, little ginkgo tree in the background. So mushrooms are interesting. There's some messages on the back. We'll get to those all in a minute. Let's put this right here for now. So this is a yes or no reading. Before we jump into that, though, just as a quick aside, we're celebrating 1,000 subscribers. You can find information on my website, junodrome.com, for discounted tarot readings for me, as well as a raffle. Hang in at the end of the reading. I'll talk about that. So anyway, for this reading, we're going to determine the answer to your yes or no question. So the way that I like to do these is I have 3 different methods for generating a yes or a no. I've got the die, I've got a coin, and I've got the pendulum. So each will give us a yes or a no, and we'll get either a triple yes, a triple no, or a maybe leaning in either direction. Or sometimes the energies will feel such a way using my intuition. It'll seem like there really isn't one answer or the other, and we'll get into why and all of that with the cards. So we're going to start out with the pendulum. I misplaced my other pendulum, so I'm using this one today, but it should work fine. We just have to triangulate the pendulum first just to make sure that it is working. So in order to do that, I ask it some questions I already know the answer to, and we'll take it from there. So are we doing a yes or no tarot video right now? Yes, we are. Am I currently wearing shoes? No, I am not. Okay. Um, do I have a painting sitting in front of me? Yes. Yes, I do. I need to finish it. Okay, that's enough questions. What's the answer to pile number one's question? Okay, the pendulum is saying no, and it feels pretty determined in that no. So we've got one no. Let's check in with the other options here. What does the die say? Yes or no? Okay, the die is on a 6, so that's even. So I take that to be a yes. So we have one yes and one no. We're in the maybe category. Now we're going to flip a coin to kind of get the final answer to see what direction that maybe is lying in. And the coin is on a tails, so the coin is saying no. So this is a maybe leaning no. Two methods are saying no, one method is saying yes. For whatever reason, there is not a definitive answer to this reading, but the current energies, the way that they are moving right now, that's a no. Like I said, with it being a maybe, there's determination and about this situation that allows it to be something different, right? So there is no 100% determined outcome, but we will take a look at the cards to kind of gauge a better picture. So you chose the pile with the mushroom. The back says forage for beauty. Interesting. We've got all these different mushrooms here. So, you know, there might be a certain level of hunting or searching that's a part of this reading, and obviously you are looking for an answer to a question, right? So the firmest possible answer, because this is a maybe, like it is leaning in a no direction, but because it is a maybe, and we have this foraging message here, it's almost like there are aspects of the situation that you're asking about that require you to dig a little deeper. That to find a true determinant answer, it's like there's certain factors and certain things that are sitting on top of the direct answer. So it's like there are, in order to really get to the bottom of your situation and to find a real solid answer for your question, it's going to take some digging deep. So maybe we'll get some better digging deep answers in this. I've got an oracle card and then I've got a bunch of tarot. So we're going to do the tarot first, and then I've got two oracle cards that we'll save for the end, and that should give us a better understanding of things. So I am going to start here with these four cards from the 1JJ Swiss deck. It's from the 70s. It's a really one of my favorite decks here. We've got the Empress, the blank card. Okay, oh, that's fun. The Five of Swords, and the Ten of Cups. Wow. Okay. So, with the Empress here, there's definitely a certain aspect of creativity about the question that you're asking about, or you might be asking about a creative question. You don't have to be, because these readings are general. So they can go to answer a lot of people's yes or no questions. But the Empress can talk about being on the precipice of birthing a new idea, a new concept. You may legitimately be asking about pregnancy. Sometimes people are in these videos. Obviously, take that as it resonates. Um, with it being next to the blank card, to me, these two together are, it's like birthing a new thing, right? Because the blank card, it's not really a part of most tarot decks. It just happens to be a card that's in this deck for whatever reason. And I relate it a lot to the blank rune in the rune sets. And it's all about this idea of having an open possibility. It's the void from which all things are birthed. It's the pause before the breath. And a lot of times, if you think about pregnancy is very much like that, right? So and pregnancy here as a metaphor, not necessarily as a real thing, it's like whatever you're asking about, there is this nature of trying to bring something into the world, that you're on the verge of that. And with the Ten of Cups here, there's a lot of happiness surrounding this as well. And then this is a maybe leaning no. Um, so whatever it is you're asking about, there might be timing issues involved in this, in bringing this. If this is a question about trying to get something, bring something into the world, um, I do feel like potentially there's a divine timing aspect to this, and that's why it's a maybe leaning no. Um, Obviously this is going to be about a lot of situations. With the Five of Swords here, that talks about being in difficult situations with other people and kind of having to be the one to leave a situation a lot of times. It can talk about, um, the loneliness after a battle, and the the difficulty in being with oneself after facing challenging situations with others that leave you shaken to who you are, right? And so there can be sometimes this aspect of feeling difficult about yourself involved with the Five of Swords, that isn't necessarily like, it's not necessarily warranted. It can talk. Sometimes to me, I feel like it's about the negative self-talk that we can fall into when we compare ourselves to others. So maybe this is a part of it. You're asking about like some kind of thing or situation involving other people, in the sense of like maybe you're comparing yourself to other people, and there's a little bit of that aspect to this question. And so you're sort of like, well, when will I ever have what they have, or am I ever going to reach this place? Because I feel like this is a place I need to reach because I see all of these people around me achieving these things or doing these things, right? It can sometimes talk about that, and like I said about this, is it's not always warranted, right? And so it's sort of like I'm just feeling the sense of like patience is something at play here. So maybe this is a maybe leaning no, in the sense that now is not the right time for whatever you're asking about, but ultimately you can still bring it into this world, at this thing, but it might take foraging deep, right? Or forage for beauty, where it's like you might have to work and take time at it, and it might not come natural, or it might not be something that is immediate, but you have to keep working and digging and finding, right? Because there is this ultimate culmination of happiness here at the end of it, and it's coming from this birthing of a new thing. And so it's like the only thing that's in the way of that here is that comparison to other people. Maybe like, I just we're gonna get to the more cards here, but I'm thinking about how this really great analogy from my example from my own life. I used to ski. I used to cross country ski in high school, and and I was on the cross country ski team. I was not good, but I did it anyway, and it was sort of like it was great because it was the first time I had a coach. It was the first time that I ever had somebody in my life in the situation, because I was overweight when I was a kid and I wasn't really athletic, but I was really determined to do it anyway. It was like the most intimidating sport that I could think of, and I was just like, I'm gonna just try this. And um, my coach was really great because she said like, you're not. Um, you're not fighting against, like, or you're not competing against other people here, right? Like, don't think about this like when you're skiing here, you don't have to compare yourself to all of these other players. That's not, and it wasn't really why I was doing it. I wasn't trying to win races, but she was like, you're just here working with yourself, right? And so don't judge yourself based on all of these other people. Like, judge yourself based on your own growth. Like, be your own. You're in a competition with yourself here, not with anybody else. And I'm not saying fight yourself here, but it was like, it was really helpful because it made me start to think about this in a different way. It was sort of like, well, it doesn't really matter whether or not I'm going to win this cross country ski race. It matters more of, you know, the more I ski, the more I practice, the more I do these meets, the the more I'm improving. And so then my scores got better, and that was really satisfying for me, right? And so it's almost like there's a little bit of that energy in this. In advice for your question, whatever it is you're asking about, there's this sort of aspect of, well, you don't have to compare yourself to everyone else. Um, you know, you can be on your own in this, and the more that you practice that, right, the more that you're going to grow into the aspect of having a satisfying conclusion, in a way that you'll actually feel like you can celebrate yourself. With these two cards here, I am feeling that. It's like, I think that maybe some people are asking about some kind of business venture or creating something that's money related, asking about a new career opportunities, any of that kind of thing, if this is that kind of question. With the Page of Pentacles here, there really is this sort of opening, especially with this Nine of Cups. It's like, remember that you're not, like, don't compare yourself to, especially like if you're trying to start a business or something like that, or any kind of thing like that, or do a career in the arts, or whatever it is you're asking about. You don't have to think of, like, don't compare yourself to Apple computers, or trying to be the next Steve Jobs, or anything like that. Like, don't like think of yourself on, like, don't try to compare yourself to somebody who's like represents this like big pinnacle thing, um because it's like, you don't need to be a you don't need to you don't need to put yourself down because other people have succeeded so much, right? It's like you can achieve a lot of things if you're here with yourself in this moment. The Page of Pentacles is kind of a beginner, right? And so it's like, when you're in the beginning stage of anything, and we can be in the beginning stages of things many, many, many times in life. You don't have to be young to be a beginner, right? We can always be starting new and always starting fresh. There's always new opportunities, and there's nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong. There's no wrong age to be a beginner at anything, because, sometimes we master one thing and we move on to something else. And when we move on to something else, we're the beginner in that thing, right? So there is an aspect of something that you're beginning here, especially too with the Empress and that sort of pregnancy imagery. It's something that you're birthing into the world. Um, it's okay to be at the beginning, and when you're at the beginning, you got to meet yourself where you are, right? And so this Nine of Cups is just coming back to that same thing that I was talking about before, with this idea of being on your. There's a certain aspect of being on your own in this as well. Being in your own, being your own competition. Not, you're in a race with yourself, right? So you can take your own pace with that. You can take your time and pace yourself, right? There is this aspect of being in a marathon and not in a sprint, right? You don't have to keep sprinting, because if you're trying to run the whatever 15 miles that is a marathon, or however long a marathon is, it's probably more than that. I'm not sure. I have no idea. But if you're trying to run that distance, you can't sprint the whole way, right? Because you're going to collapse. It's not possible to do that. So it's like, pacing yourself is an important aspect of this. But also, like, you know, this is a person who's on his own, who's celebrating his own ambitions with this Nine of Cups energy. So it's sort of like, you have that in this as well. You might be at the beginning of something. So every small thing that you're able to achieve in whatever it is that you're bringing into the world, or you're working on, or you're trying to improve on yourself, or whatever it is you're asking about, you do have that ability here to really. It's more important for you to to not try to compare yourself to those around you or to people who've already made it in the place that you're trying to get to, and more important for you to celebrate every small achievement and small win that you make, because it's a step-by-step process. And so it's also about breaking up your goals into small steps. The only way that we're able to achieve big giant things in this world is by taking one small step at a time. And so there is an importance in this reading in pacing yourself, in taking the time it takes to make things happen, and to not worry so much about trying to make things occur this moment. And I think that that's where this maybe leaning no is. Like I said at the beginning, there is an aspect of divine timing involved here, where it's like the timing is where, you know, like this might not be the right moment, but that doesn't mean that um, that it will never happen. You have the Page of Pentacles twice, so there really is this aspect of a new journey in something potentially money related, and it might be a move too. With the Six of Swords here, that can talk about moving. Sometimes it can talk about moving into a new phase, moving out of something challenging and into something easier, leaving a difficult situation and moving into something brighter. And it can talk about actual physical moving too, moving to a new location. So some of you might have been asking about that, although the answer was maybe leaning no. But I do feel like, you know, for some of you, there is an aspect of moving involved in this. But, this is just kind of repeating a little bit of the same message, especially with the Five of Cups. It's like maybe you're facing right now a minor setback about something. And so you're asking, like, if this thing is going to happen or if something's going to work out. And I think it's like, even if in the short term one small thing doesn't work out, that doesn't mean that your long term goals aren't going to happen. It doesn't mean that you can't achieve your dreams. It doesn't mean that the things you want in life aren't possible to you. It might mean that you might face small difficulties in the short term, but then sometimes those small difficulties are important to learn important lessons. That's what the Five of Cups can talk about sometimes. It's like this idea that even if in the sometimes difficult situations will happen in our life, but they will shape our perspective in such a way that when we get to more challenges in the future, we will know how to face these difficulties, and we'll build a certain sense of resilience that allows us to move forward from a place of more stability. And so it's sort of like you have this sense of stability possible for you. So even if you're in a difficult situation right now, that doesn't mean that that you won't ultimately get to this ultimate happiness. So regardless of what it is that you're asking about, you do have the ability to bring into your life whatever it is that you're trying to do. It might just take time, and it might be a situation where you face certain setbacks along the way. But even if you do, that doesn't mean that the beauty can't be found. You just might have to forage deep for it, right? So now we've got two oracle cards here. From the Shamanic Healing Oracle, we have Truth. And then from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, we've got the Thread. So to me, the Thread is sort of like, there's this journey that you're on, and with the Truth, you might have to be honest with yourself about certain aspects of certain things in your life. I mean, really ask yourself whether these things are for you, whether you really want something, And sometimes we're challenged by situations and challenges and faced with different challenges. It's a part of this thread, which I'm taking to be the whole story of your whole life and everything that you're bringing in, right? Whatever it is that you're asking about, this thread is sort of like, sometimes when we're going along our journey, in order to bring something, if we're trying to manifest something, if we're trying to work on something, sometimes we'll face these challenges and these setbacks as a way to shape our resolve, right? To shape our resolve into what it is we're trying to do. And so even if you do face certain setbacks and challenges in a situation, sometimes you have to face difficulties in situations like that to really know what it is you really want, right? So situations where your whole heart isn't in it necessarily may fall away when faced with challenges. Whereas other situations that you really, you really want to make happen and work and bring into reality, those challenges may act as a way to, you might, in the face of those challenges, double down and say, no, this is something I really want to make happen. So I'm going to keep working, and I'm going to get back up, and I'm going to bring this into the world. Um, and so it's this reading is a little bit about that, a little bit about that resolve, and how, even if you are faced with any setbacks, even though this is a maybe leaning no, even if it turns out to be no in the short term, um, that there is this ability to bring into your life what it is that you're trying to. And you can change that no into a yes, with time, with patience, with hard work. Um, and so, that's where this reading is. Yeah. So anyway, that's the reading for you, pile number one. I hope that it resonates. Let me know in the comments what you think of it either way. I really do love hearing from everybody. If you would like a private reading with me, they are available on the website, www.junodrome.com. Like I said, we're currently celebrating 1,000 subscribers, and as a part of that celebration, all of my private readings are currently 20% off. So you can... you can find that on the website. And then the other thing is that there's a big raffle going on right now, too, to coincide with this celebration of 1,000 subscribers. And that raffle is running until February 11th, which is a Friday. So sign up for it now on the website. It's free to sign up. All you do is just enter your info. And it's a free reading to 2 free subscribers. So 2 subscribers will receive a free reading from me. And then there is also one raffle entrant will receive a little care package from me that'll probably have some of this obsidian that I collected in Oregon, as well as maybe a few other things, and a little handwritten note from me as a thank you. So, yeah, anyway, pile number one, that was my reading for you, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi, friends. Pile number two. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your reading for what is the answer to your yes or no question. So these are pretty popular readings that I do, these yes or nos. So I'm bringing them to you a little bit more often, as well as other readings as well. So you can find all of my readings on the channel. And before I dive right into the yeses and nos, just as a quick little note, we're celebrating 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. As a part of that, there's discounts on my private readings as well as a raffle. More information at the end of this video, but you can find all that information on the website at junodrome.com. So anyway, we have 3 different methods for generating a yes or a no. I've got the pendulum, the die, and the coin. And so we'll dive right in. To triangulate the pendulum and just get this answer first, we just have to make sure that it's working. So I just ask it some questions I already know the answer to. Am I sitting in front of paintings right now? Yes, I am. Is this table green? No, it is not. Is there a ring light in front of me? Yes, there is. What is the answer to pile number 2's question? Okay, it's staying on yes. So the pendulum is saying yes. Let's do the die next. Even yes, odd no. We've got I think this is the 3. Yeah, it's the 2 is this one. The 3's got a little punch out of it. So we've got a 3. So we've got 1 no. That's 1 yes, 1 no. So it's a maybe. We'll flip the coin to see which direction that maybe is leaning. Okay, so it's tails on the coin. So that's a maybe leaning no. The pendulum did feel yes, though, so it's not a full on no. Right? There's a maybe here. It's one of those ones where the trajectory is in a no-word direction, right? So it's like there's a quite whatever it is you're asking about at this particular moment in time, it's leaning in the no direction. But there's things that you can do, and situations that can be moved in such a way to turn this into a yes if you're looking for a yes answer. It's one of those kinds of situations. So you chose the pile with this bicycle, and it says adventure awaits. So with these two symbols, I am feeling a bit of a travel energy going on as I shoot this across the page here. Yeah, there's a bit of a traveling kind of atmosphere to this pile. Movement, going in a new direction, you know. This isn't a full on, or you didn't get a yes, you got a in a no direction, but there is this feeling of moving somewhere, a movement, or gutting into something different. Maybe taking on something new. Maybe it's about asking about a certain thing that actually requires you to be moving in a different direction or something. So let's take a look at the cards and get a better understanding. We've got the Two of Wands. We've got the Four of Pentacles. We've got the Ace of Swords. This is the 1JJ Swiss deck, by the way. And we've got the La Maison de Dieu, which is the tower in most decks. It translates from French into the house of God, or like God in the machine, that kind of situation. So, with the tower here, yeah, there does seem to be this energy of something coming in to kind of like break up what has been. It's nothing too scary. Like, the tower is one of the major change cards in the tarot. And when the tower comes in, it's like there's two different major change cards in the tarot. There's the tower and the death card. The death card tends to be this like internal transformation, changing your inner self. But the tower is like physical change. Something happens that comes in to change your environment. Something physical about the external world changes for you in your life. And a lot of times it comes from a place that you don't necessarily know. Like it comes kind of out of nowhere. And it can come, sometimes based in situations where there isn't a strong foundation, right? It can come from a place where you haven't exactly set something solid. And so, with the rest of these cards here as well, there is this, this new perspective with the Ace of Swords that's possible for you. So I really do think with this maybe leaning no, it's almost like this no. It's like whatever it is that you're asking about, particularly if you're asking about, is this thing working? Is this thing going to be what I need? Take this as it resonates. If, like I said, with it having that maybe built into that, it's still possible to create something, but there does seem to be this feeling of like a tower that's built on sand, right? Sometimes the tower can feel like that too, where it's like the foundation isn't strong. And it's funny too with this Four of Pentacles here. It can talk about, with that next to this Two of Wands too, which is interesting. The Two of Wands can be sort of like journeys and travel again. So there we go. There's a lot of travel symbolism, moving. With this Four of Pentacles, it can talk about like playing it safe, right? Sticking close to keeping things too close, too safe. So it's almost like I'm getting this feeling like whatever you're asking about, it's like you're asking, should I stay? And that's why it's a no. And the reality is you're meant to journey off, right? So obviously take this as it fits for your situation, because this is a general reading and this can be about a lot of things for different people. But I do get this sense of moving on, moving into something new. With the Ace of Swords, it's like having a new perspective too. That's another thing too. It's like there's something about this question where it's a no because it's like you have a limited perspective on it, and you're not seeing the fullness of the situation. You're not seeing everything that's in front of it, and so there's like a new way of seeing things that needs to come in order to create the outcome that you want or create an outcome that's favorable for you, you know. And so that's sort of a part of where this no is coming from as well. It's almost like there's like a pause or like a hold on, like in order to get to where you want to go, there does need to be this change in your environment. There does need to be um, a moving away from certain things and a moving towards something else. And it's this kind of thing where it's like, you know, you might be afraid to make some pushes to get yourself into that place. But with the tower, it's almost like it's going to come anyway. So you might as well be the one to be the catalyst of this change and build it into your life, because it's almost like the universe is going to push this into your being anyway. So you might as well bring it in a way that isn't too jarring, right? So not trying to make light of it, you know. If you're going through something rough, like I wanna be clear, like my sympathies are with you. I've been through some pretty challenging things myself, so I do understand that difficult situations are hard, right? But it does feel like there's a jumping off point that the universe is trying to bring you towards. That is present for you in this moment, and it's one of those situations where you might as well take those leaps, because if you don't, like, it's like you're going to get pushed into it anyway. So yeah, so we have 3 cards now from the Herbal Tarot. We've got the Ace of Cups, so definitely some new beginnings coming for you with that Ace of Cups as well. We've got the World. Okay, so more travel symbolism. The World, like, yeah, this pile, like, if you're asking about traveling, even if it is a maybe leaning no, like, I take that no to be something for your situation, but going somewhere is definitely in the cards for you, literally. And then we have the Nine of Cups. So yeah, so the Nine of Cups is like super satisfaction energy as well. So there is this new beginning that's here for you, or coming after this Tower moment, I think. Um, where you're really going to be faced in your own happiness. So it's like if something in the immediate future isn't working out for you that you're asking about, there is this sense of long term there being deep happiness and beauty for you that comes from seeing the world, opening yourself up to the world, literally, you know, being in your own happiness. You know, the thing about the Nine of Cups too is this person is alone, right? And that's one of the important messages of this, is that sometimes you do need to go off on your own in order to create your own happiness. So maybe if you're asking about a certain person or a relationship or a situation or dynamic with another person, and that's where this no is coming in, maybe it's one of those situations where it's like, well, no, because you have the um, you have something else to do, right? There's something bigger in life that maybe this other person can't be a part of, or isn't supposed to be a part of, or wouldn't fit in this future that's the best thing for you. And so that's why it's a no on that, because there's this more important thing that's coming in, right? Final 3 cards, well, the final 3 tarot cards before we get to your oracles, come from the Smith Waite deck. We have the Tower again. Okay, so wow, that's powerful. Whenever a card comes up twice in a reading, that's the most important message. And for it to be the Tower, like, this is a pretty powerful reading here. You have the Seven of Wands, okay, and you have the Page of Wands. Okay, so pages are another new beginnings card. Sometimes they're starting out on something. They're the beginning stages of something. So this is interesting, right? I do think that there is a bit of a dynamic with other people here with this Seven of Wands as well. So I do think some people, like I said, it's a general reading, so this is going to be about a lot of different things for a lot of people. But the situation that some people are asking about is this sort of dynamic with others. You know, is this person right for me? Should I stay in this friendship? Is this job the right thing for me? Because this could be a work environment, people in a work environment, and those are all no's or maybes leaning no because um, there's actually something different that needs to come into your life here, and that this tower moment is here for you in this moment. And so, tower moments, like I said, they can be kind of challenging sometimes, but a lot of the time they're necessary. And it's important to remember that the tower is followed by the star, right? So right after the tower comes this beautiful shining moment in the night. So it's like, you might have to go through something a little bit challenging in the short term, to open you up to the future that's really the best for you. Because maybe it's a thing, especially with this new perspectives card with the Ace of Swords. It could be a life for yourself that you can't even imagine right now. And so certain events and situations and things need to take place so that you can fully open up to the thing that's the really the best for you. The thing in life that's going to be the best for you. Um, the thing that's in your highest good and in the highest good of the world, right? That's going to make you the happiest. It might not be something that you can even see right now, and so certain events and situations need to take place in your life in order to open your perspective so that you can even see it. And I do believe that that's what's happening here, because it's like after this tower falls, you do have this new beginning that I do think that travel is an aspect of this, or moving on. It could be inner journeys as well. Definitely could be journeying on the inside, coming to a new sense of self by maybe even doing some inner spiritual work and that kind of thing. But I do feel like there's some actual travel in the physical world involved for some people as well. And so, it could be moving, it could be going to a new place, it could be moving to a new home, it could be changing jobs, it could be going to a new city, a new country, any of that kind of thing. I do see that as a possibility for a lot of people in this reading. And, with that Seven of Wands, once again, it is this idea that you are overcoming the struggle, right? So it's like, even if you feel like you're in a struggle right now, you do have this overcoming energy coming in. Um, the 5, 7, and 9 of Wands to me are all telling a story. And the 5 of Wands, all of the people are stuck. They're stuck fighting each other, and no one has the upper hand. The 7 of Wands, one person has begun to take the upper hand in the fight, and they're pulling up and pulling through. They're still in the fight, though, but they are going to pull through it as the winner. And then to me, I find the 9 of Wands to be the person who has overcome the battle, and they are the battle-hardened soldier. They've struggled to the point where they've overcome, and they're on that overcoming energy. So I do feel like you might still be in a struggle, in a situation that could be challenging for you. It could be difficult, but I do see you overcoming that situation and that challenge, and it's just a matter of you taking, you know, going with the flow a certain bit. In these tower moments, we kind of have to surrender a little bit. Tower moments a lot of times are about surrendering, because maybe you've been trying to control a situation, especially with that Four of Cups, or Four of Pentacles. Like I said, it's this playing it safe energy where you're holding everything a little too close. So maybe you've been acting potentially in fear, or um, acting from a place of trying to be safe, but not being open enough. And so because of that, certain things need to happen to open you back up to the universe so that you can be open to the flow, right? Sometimes we can be a little bit too overprotective of ourselves, where we're blocking the universe from being able to help us, or we're blocking things from being able to come in so that we can move into something new, so that we can move out of certain situations. And I do feel, like I said, there's this major journeying energy to open you up to this happiness energy from the Nine of Cups. It's like you do have to travel, you do have to move, you do have to, and it could be, like I said, it doesn't have to be physical too. This could be moving on the internal, moving perspectives, becoming somebody new, having your inner landscape change. moving to a new headspace, right? There's a lot of that in this that needs to happen. And then what did they say? Adventure awaits, right? Yeah, adventure awaits. So there is this sense of adventure, maybe by playing it safe too much, it's become cold and stagnant, and you're actually meant to go on adventures in this lifetime, and feel like you have this adventurous spirit, and you can travel and journey and learn new things and become a new person and have all of this openness and newness available to you, right? That is a potential for you, for sure. So anyway, let's see. We've got two oracle cards for you. So the first one comes from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, and it's letting go. Yes. Did I say that surrender needs to happen? I totally said that, right? That there's this energy of surrender that needs to come in, of letting go. I might have even said letting go. I don't remember. I either said surrender or letting go, um, but yeah, that's a huge part of this. That's a huge part of the tower as well. The tower as a spiritual symbol and a spiritual lesson. It's the tower lesson is a really, really hard one to learn. Just as someone who's faced some pretty challenging tower moments in my own life, um, I understand it's really hard. It's really hard because we have this sense of control that is perfectly valid, right? Because it comes from, a lot of times it comes from this place of having been through difficult traumas. Like, we're going to be like really, it's uptight about keeping things. It's a defense mechanism of trying to keep ourselves safe, and so a lot of times telling a person who's in that position to just let go, that's easier said than done. But it really is this lesson of letting go, of just kind of like saying, okay, I have to just learn how to trust right now. Like, everything's going crazy and I don't know what's going on. And you know what? I'm just trusting. I'm gonna go with this flow. I'm gonna trust the symbols that are coming to me. I'm going to make the moves that I need to make, right? I'm not gonna just pretend like I'm not telling you to like quit your job and just like put your hands over your ears and go la la la, nothing's happening. Not at all. That is not what letting go is about. Letting go and surrendering, it's about not trying to control every single aspect of everything that's happening, not feeling like you need to be the one, not feeling like you need to know all 10 million steps that are ahead of you to get to where you want to go, just allowing things to pass and flowing from one moment to the one moment. Letting go is being present in this moment and saying, okay, I'm going to act from the situation that I'm present in. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not here. I'm going to be present with myself, but I'm also going to act when I need to act and slowly move in whatever direction I need to move in. I'll take it one step at a time, one little moment at a time, and allow things to pass as they need to. If things are falling apart around me, I'm not going to try to cling and hold on to them. I'm going to let the things out of my life that are leaving, and I'm going to welcome the new things into my life that are coming in. And that's all you can do. At the end of the day, sometimes, especially in a tower moment, like, the universe is just gonna, things are just gonna move, things are gonna change. And the other thing about that too is, one of the most important lessons that I've learned in life that's been really helpful for me is just the idea that change is the nature of the universe. It's actually the one constant that exists in life. As ironic as that is, everything else is changing always, but change will stay the same, right? That's the thing that you can rely on, is everything is going to continue to change. And so allow it, not holding too tightly to the things that have passed. And if something is leaving your life, coming to the point where you say, okay, I I'm scared that this thing is leaving my life, but I trust that things are happening for a reason, and I am going to be present with myself and present in the situation. And I know that, yes, not everything is always going to be good. Not everything is always going to be easy in life, but if I am present and here with myself, then I know that I can have faith in my own ability to pull through. I've survived 100% of the days that I've lived so far in this lifetime, so I have a faith and trust in my ability to continue to maintain my own health and my own self, and I will go with the flow, right? Those kinds of personal mantras. In any difficult situation, right? Like, they can be so helpful. Yeah. So the final card comes from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, and it is the ocean. Okay, so the ocean too. Like the ocean is this vast open body, right? And we think about the spirituality of the ocean. It's just this huge open water. And so, that can talk about, sometimes diving into emotions can feel that way. They can be really challenging if we haven't really worked with them before. But then the other part about this ocean card could be taken literally as well. Like I do feel like some people in this pile are traveling overseas, are going onto the ocean, are traveling across the ocean. I do feel like there's a bit of that as well. But for the emotional side of it, it's this idea that being open to the vastness of human experience, that not everything is going to feel good all the time, but just because we have challenging emotions, that isn't something to be afraid of, and it's not something to shy away from. That actually, if you are present with yourself and your emotions, even if they are difficult, especially if they're difficult and if they're challenging, by holding yourself to those emotions, by allowing yourself to feel those emotions very deeply, you allow them to flow through you and to leave you, right? It's when you try to ignore the emotions or suppress them or try to pretend like they're not there, that they fester and they build and they can come out, like a big volcano sometimes, or they can just kind of like bring on depression. Sometimes suppressed emotions are masked as depression because we're not allowing ourselves to feel things very deeply. We've pretending like they're not there, and so maybe we don't even know that we have emotions deep down that are suppressed, and we're just kind of in this depression state. I had depression for many years, and ultimately a part of my healing of that was unraveling all of these emotions that I had been burying without realizing. So that's a part of this too. So, that could be a part of it as well. This tower moment might be coming in for some people to open you up to some things from your past or situations that you've been through that are difficult and emotionally challenging, in order to bring you to a level of healing and openness and release with this letting go card, where you can then take off on the next adventure. You can have a new beginning. You can be in this new place. You can be in a new position to be able to move forward from a much more open and lighter and easier emotional, physical, spiritual load. Yeah. So anyway, pile number 2, I'm going to leave you there. I think that that's what this reading needed to convey. If you tell me what you felt like from it in the comments, let me know in a comment. I love hearing from everybody. So if you like this reading, if you don't like this reading, either way, let me know. I do like hearing from everyone. And if you would like a private reading from me, we're celebrating 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. If you haven't already, please do. It really does help out this channel. But all of my private readings on the website are now 20% off. You can find out more information at the website at www.junodrome.com. And I am also doing a raffle. So 2 lucky listeners who sign up for the raffle on the website will receive a free reading from me. And then 1 lucky viewer will receive some kind of care package. I think with some of these obsidian stones that I collected in Oregon myself, and possibly some other fun little things, a little handwritten note of appreciation for me. So you can enter that raffle on the website. Once again, that's www.junodrome.com. And that raffle will be up until February 11th, which is a Friday, so please get in on that while you can. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in, pile number 2, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you later. Bye. Hi there, pile number 3. You chose the pile with this moon card. This is your reading for what is the answer to your yes or no question. One of the fan favorites of the videos that I do. It's pretty consistently. Most people like these the most, which is great. I like doing them. So I'm moving these up in the schedule a little bit to do probably I'll do every other for a while, a yes or no, and then something different. If you ever have any other suggestions, though, for topics, themes, readings that you want me to do, let me know in the comments at any time. It's really helpful for me. To have some more open ideas, and we'll do different readings for sure. But this reading is the yes or no. I'll dive into this reading in just a moment. Real quick, though, we're celebrating 1,000 subscribers, so there's some discounts on the private readings on the website and a raffle as well. So I'll tell you more information at the end of this reading. So stay tuned for that. So yeah. Anyway, let's dive right into this one. What is the answer to your yes or no question? I've got 3 different methods for generating a yes or a no, and then the cards will help us explain those things. So we've got the pendulum, a coin, and a die. So we'll either get a triple yes, triple no, or a maybe leaning in either direction. And then the cards will give us a better understanding on what it is we're talking about. So first, I just need to triangulate the pendulum to make sure that it's working. So let's ask it some questions we already know the answers to. Am I sitting in front of paintings right now? Yes, I am. Did all of the candles blow out at this table? Nope, they're still going. Is there obsidian at the table? Yes. Okay, it's moving very tinily. But okay, what is the answer to pile number 3's question? It's like not moving at all. Okay, so the pendulum doesn't know. Sometimes that happens. Oh, and it's running away. Oh man. Okay, well, we'll grab that in a second. Okay, so you're gonna have a maybe reading most likely, or a double yes, double no. Let's find out. So we've got one abstention. That's funny. Probably means something to somebody here. We've got a heads from the coin, so we've got one yes. And we got a 2, so this is a double yes. So this is an enthusiastic yes from the universe with one abstention, though. So I don't know. It could be a maybe leaning yes. Although I think the cards are probably going to give us a better understanding on what's going on. But in all likelihood, the answer to your question is yes, with some complexity that I don't understand yet. But I will probably as this reading goes on. That's interesting. It's never happened to me before. So let's look at the moon card. It says on the back, trust in dreams, for in them is hidden the gate to eternity. That's cool. So there could be some dream messaging going on for you as well. Some confirmation in your dreams. There's a possibility that dreams have deep meaning for you, are important to a situation. So that's something. We got a bunch of oracle cards. I'm going to save those till the end, I think. And we'll start with the tarot. So first up, you got a bunch of the herbal tarot. So there's a big story going on here. I think that's probably a good place to start. We've got the 6 of Cups. We've got the 2 of Cups. Ooh, interesting. We've got the 10 of Swords. Wow. Oh, I've never seen it in this deck yet. That's pretty powerful. We got the Tower. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Last pile had the Tower too. We have the 10 of Wands. Okay. There's a lot going on in this. There's a big story here. So there was an enthusiastic yes. So whatever it is you're asking about, it's definitely a yes. Now, there is some complexity in this reading, like I said. The pendulum didn't want to give us an answer. So So it's almost like, what can we take that to mean? It's almost like there's a something about what you're asking about, though the outcome is most likely yes. There's something where maybe there's some prolonged time to get to this yes answer. So whatever it is you're asking about, there it might take time in order to get there. And so there might be moments where it's not feeling like the answer is yes in the short term, but it is a yes. So regardless of what might be happening, there is an ultimate yes answer to this. Let's see. With the Six of Cups, this talks about happy memories from the past, and the Two of Cups can talk about either joining in relationships, or a lot of times too, it's an awakening of the heart center, so connecting to yourself more. There's this deep connection. So especially with the dreams as well, there's this feeling of like reawakening some kind of childhood wonder that opens you back up to feeling more like yourself, feeling more open um, to who you were as a child, sort of that childlike optimism, that wonder that we all have in the world when we're young. There's a bit of a reawakening to that energy because it's like there's something important about that imagination. Definitely. There's something deeply important about that power of imagination that you have personally that maybe you've been a little bit disconnected from, with the Ten of Swords. I think that maybe difficult situations in your past, be it long term past or short term, there have been deeply challenging situations as you've gotten older that have disconnected you from a lot of these childlike wonder and imagination and creativity, potentially even the storytelling, this fantasy element of being in the fantasy of dreaming wonder, right? This hidden dreams. There's this hidden symbolism here, and so it's like the difficult things that you've been through have left you in this place of feeling like a Ten of Wands. And so that's kind of, I think, where the Tower is coming in, is it's sort of like um, with this Ten of Wands, maybe you're feeling tired, maybe you're feeling overburdened, overworked. You feel like you've taken on too many things. There's this feeling of not being able to hold all of this anymore. And so the Tower is here through your yes answer, surprisingly enough, to really let go of whatever these burdens are, be them internal or external. There's this feeling of like you're holding too much, you're holding too many things. Maybe you're trying to do too many things right now. Or it's just that, especially with, like I said, this disconnect from your own inner wonder, childhood wonder. Maybe it's this situation where you feel like, well, I have to do this and I have to do that and I have to do this and I have to do that, and that kind of thing, where you get stuck on this loop of all of the responsibilities that you have, and those responsibilities are getting in the way of you, just kind of exploring the world with the eyes of a child, and maybe they're getting in the way of your sense of self, sense of seeing the world. And so, with this enthusiastic yes, it's like I do think that obviously there's a part of you who's still here and maybe seeing this, and then maybe that's kind of where the question is coming in, where it's like, the pendulum was solid, it wouldn't even move, right? It was just like suspended and stuck, and so it's like, and it had to fly off across the room in order to get those yes answers, right? So it's sort of like that's kind of what you need to do in your life and in your situation. You have to, the things that have kept you stuck and stagnant here with this Ten of Wands, you have to just like throw them across the room. And we've got horns outside for like so many confirmations. So it's like that's really what this is talking about. With the Tower, it's like you almost have to be your own tower here. It's like, and if you don't, the universe is doing this anyway. But whatever it is, something that you asked about is in relation to this Tower moment, right? So this could be, you could have asked about anything, because this is a general reading and people are tuning into these about like anything. So whatever it is that you asked about is intimately connected to this type of Tower moment for you. So something about what you were asking about, the universe is deeply enthusiastically urging you to follow that track, that path, especially if you're asking any kind of shoulds, like, oh, should I do this? Or, oh, should this be a thing that I do? Would it be a good idea if I did this thing? The universe is being like, yes, 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 because it's going to push you in this direction. to open you back up to this this dreaming energy, this ability, this infinite ability to make things, to connect to things, and it's going to help you let go of the things that have been holding you back. So let's take a look at some more tarot. We've got 4 more tarot cards, 2 from the Smith-Waite deck. We've got the Page of Swords, and we got the 5 of Wands. Yep, I do feel this 5 of Wands energy. And then we've got the 2 cards from the 1JJ Swiss card. We've got the Strength card, or La Force, because this deck is in French. And then we have the 7 of Pentacles. Okay, let me think about it. Okay, so interesting. So yeah, so I do feel like there's this sense of the couple messages coming from this too. It's like, I do think you've been working hard on something too that you asked about, be it something that's a work related or, something. You've put in a lot of time and energy into thinking about something, building something, creating something, anything like that. There's been a lot of work into something, even if this is like putting in work on yourself, right? Doing emotional healing. Anything in that direction. You've been working really hard on something, and you've built up a certain level of strength, and so you're I think maybe you're stronger than you give yourself credit for, and so there's this this opening here to follow this inspired action. That's going to lead to a new way of seeing life, with this Page of Swords, a new perspectives here. As you shake some of this stuff off and come back into this childlike wonder, there's an opportunity for a new way of thinking, a new way of moving and acting through the world, of perceiving yourself and life, and really being in this new space of newness that's deeply possible for you. And with this 5 of Wands, this is about this kind of like, I do think that you've been in a stuck period, right? Like we already kind of established that it's feeling stuck. So this is kind of reestablishing that. And so it could be an internal struggle a lot of times, because I do see this new perspective coming in, or it could be external as well. There could be factors in your physical environment that the tower, because the tower can talk about physical changes in our physical environment. There's some things about, where you're living, what you're doing. If you're asking, should I move? Should I go to a new place? There's an enthusiastic yes about that too, because it's like the physical environment that you're in right now is also contributing, I think, to this feeling of stuck, to any of this stuck, stagnant energy. There is a sense of that being a part of where this 5 of Wands is coming from as well. And so as you move to a new place, that opens up your horizons, or as you change aspects of your environment, you get a new job, you move on to a new thing, any of that kind of thing, it does open up your perspective and change your thinking. Because a lot of times, the people that we surround ourselves with, we become a reflection of those people sometimes. And so, asking yourself, am I surrounding myself with the people that are on the same page as me? Yeah, that's a legitimate thing to ask yourself too. So, yeah, I'm going to reveal these oracle cards and then see if we have any more message to channel for you. It's a bit of a shorter reading, but I think we've really gotten into a lot here. So we've got perception, and we've got forgiveness. Okay, wow. And those are both from the Shamanic Healing Oracle. With perception, I do feel this, like I said, this sense of changing your perspective, I think, is really big in this reading. And so there's this opening, this opportunity for you as you make whatever change that you're asking about, follow whatever intuition that you're feeling, work on moving into a new sense of being, a new understanding, whatever it is you asked about. There really is, it's like a part of why you've been stuck, I think, is how you've been seeing your situation. I think that's a big part of it too. And so it's like by taking actions and steps to change the situation and to move into something different, because I do feel that that's open to you. It's really in order to really do that, it's changing the way that you see the situation, changing the way that you see your life, opening yourself up to a new way of seeing things. And a part of where that's going to come in is this forgiveness, and I think a big part of that is self-forgiveness, right? Um, forgiveness is a challenging thing sometimes. A lot of times because a lot of times we think that in order to forgive, we have to forget, especially if we're forgiving other people. Like like by forgiving somebody we're saying that what they did was okay, which is not the case. Forgiveness isn't something that you do for somebody else. It's something that you do for yourself, right? Forgiveness is something where by forgiving yourself, you free yourself from the chains of that situation holding over you. And it's the same for when you forgive yourself, right? Like if you've made challenging mistakes in the past, or if you've put yourself in a position where, you don't like the life that you have right now, um, by forgiving yourself for getting into that situation, you free yourself to be able to leave it, right? Like instead of um, holding it over yourself all the time for like, oh, I am in such a terrible place and it's all my fault and I've done this and this and this wrong and I'm such a terrible person because I've done blah blah blah, and, all of that. Like, um, you'll never be able to move into a life that you want if you are constantly telling yourself that you're not capable of it, right? Or by constantly telling yourself that it's all your fault for being in a terrible situation, right? And I do think that there is it is important to take responsibility of the life that you're in, right? I think that's the first step that a lot of us do have to make, but that doesn't mean that we have to be a jerk to ourselves either. Like yes, it's important to take responsibility for the way that your life is right now. But a part of that is also forgiving yourself for being there and saying, I have the ability to get into whatever life I want. And so, yes, I may be in a difficult situation right now, or I might not be happy with the way things are right now, or I might not be, where I am at the moment might not be where I feel like I need to be. But, in order to go where I want to go, I have to work with myself. There's no other way. And so in order to be a good partner to myself, because the Two of Cups, like I said, it can be about being a partner with yourself too sometimes. It's reconnecting within the inner self. A part of that work, a part of being a good team player with yourself, it's funny to think of it that way, but you kind of have to, um, is acknowledging that, riding your own butt about it, right? To make it funny uh, phrasing, but by being a hard ass on yourself, pardon my French, but like being really challenging on yourself all the time. Like, imagine if somebody's doing that to you. Is that going to be a good motivation for moving forward? Like, probably not. If you're working in a job where you have a manager like that, like, that's not going to make anybody happier. It's probably going to make everything worse. And, productivity is going to go way down for everybody involved, and nobody's going to be happy, right? So, when you do that kind of thing to yourself, you get the same result. So it's like working with yourself, I think, is the most important thing. And and I think that that's kind of where this letting go of the 10 of Wands and, having that, I do think that there's a bit of an over sense of responsibility here. Maybe you're taking on things that aren't meant to be yours, right? Be it actual things or be it metaphorical things. So a part of this is allowing us to go to be alleviated, and that's where being in this more open, dreamlike energy can really help you, I think. So let's look at the final oracle card. It comes from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. And it's the bridge. Oh, okay, wow. Oh, fun. I like this card. So yeah, the bridge talks about like connecting connecting different aspects of things. It can talk about, deep spiritual connection being the bridge between the spiritual and the physical. But I think for you, where I'm pecking this, I've read this in this direction before too. It can sometimes the bridge, I think, to me can mean the fact that the present moment is actually a bridge between the past and the future. So if you've been in difficult situations in your past, right, on the one side, you don't have to continue those difficult things. And here in the present moment, you actually have the ability to let go of the past and change your trajectory to whatever you want for the future. But you're never going to get to the future, right, until you take it from this present moment. So, remember in this present moment, like, yes, you might have a place you want to get to, and yes, you may have been in difficult things in the past, but neither one of those things is real right now. The only thing that's real is this present moment. And so in this present moment, you have the ability to bridge between anything that you've been through and anything that you're going to. And so you have the ability to move yourself through that however you so choose. And so you have the ability to open up whatever trajectory you want for yourself. So even if you are in a position that you don't like in this moment, that doesn't mean that you have to maintain that moving forward. It just means that that's kind of where the habit energy might be. But if you can let go of some of that, you can move yourself in whatever trajectory that you want. And a part of that might be starting healthier habits today, putting down some of these burdens that you might be holding today, and allowing yourself to move in any direction that could really help you. So yeah, anyway, pile number 3, I'm going to leave you there. I hope that was a good reading. Let me know what you think either way in the comments. Like I was saying at the beginning, we are celebrating 1,000 subscribers, so thank you to everyone who has subscribed. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. It really does help out. I'm really, really excited to see this channel continue to grow. I've been doing this for almost 2 years now, so it's been it's really great. It's fun to see it taken off. It's really exciting for me. So as a part of my thanks to you and a part of the celebration, I'm discounting all of my private readings. They are all 20% off. You can find that information on them on the website at www.junodrome.com. And there is also a raffle. 2 lucky viewers who sign up for the raffle on the website will win a free private reading with me. And then 1 lucky viewer will receive a bit of a care package from me in the mail, coming with, I think, a few of these pieces of obsidian that I collected myself in Oregon, as well as some other little fun little things I'm going to get. And send you as a thank you spiritual care package. So yeah, anyway, that's it from me. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, pile number 3, and I will see you in the next reading. Thanks for tuning in. Bye. Hi there, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. So this is going to be your reading for what is the answer to your yes or no question. Before we dive in that, just super quick, we're currently celebrating 1,000 subscribers. Thanks to everyone who has subscribed. And if you're new, please do subscribe. It really helps. But before I jump in, I just want to say that we've got some discounts on private readings on the website. You can find information on that at junodrome.com. I'll get into that whole spiel at the end, but the most important thing I want to let everybody know is there's a big raffle going on for a free private reading from me that 2 viewers will get, as well as a care package for me that 1 viewer will get. That information is on the website as well. I'll get to that at the end of this reading. So let's dive right in here. We've got 3 different methods for generating a yes or a no. I've got the pendulum, the die, and the coin. So we're going to get either a triple yes, a triple no, or a maybe leaning in either direction. I like to do it this way so that we can kind of build in some nuance, because a lot of times in life there isn't just a straight yes or no, and a lot of questions that we're asking about could go either way, and there's some difficult situations, weird things going on, you never really know. And so that's what I like about having a tarot reading attached to it, is because then it will give you a little bit more nuance, hopefully give you some more insights into your question as well as an answer, and leave you feeling a little bit more satisfied. So that's what I like to do. So anyway, you chose the pile here with this cardinal, and Yeah, I'm going to do the 3 different methods first, and then we'll dive into the cards and kind of see. So the first method that I always start with is the pendulum here. My other pendulum went missing, so I'm using this second one. It's been doing okay. So first, I just need to ask it a few questions that I already know the answer to, just to triangulate. Let's see here. Am I sitting in front of paintings right now? Yes, I am. Is there a door to my left? Nope, it's the window. Am I currently sitting at a table? Yes, I am. Okay, what is the answer to pile number 4's question? Okay, pile number 4, it's feeling more like a yes. I think it's staying on yes here. So the pendulum is saying yes. So let's see what the other methods have to say. The coin, heads yes, tails no. It's on heads. We've got the Mercury here. I've got this Mercury dime that I have. It's pretty awesome. It's from the 30s or something. Let's just see real quick. It is from 1944. Pretty cool. And let's see. Even yes, odd no on the die. You got a 2. All right. This is a triple yes, enthusiastic yes. The answer to your question is yes. Hopefully you wanted a yes and not a no. Sometimes we go into these wanting a no answer. So, if it's not something you want or not, it is something you want. Either way, you got a triple yes. Pretty clear and definitive answer from the universe. Yes. I love those. Easy, straightforward, but you got a ton of cards here, so we'll see what the heck that is all about. With the cardinal, it says nature always wears the colors of spirit. Beautiful. The colors of the spirit. It's a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote, which is beautiful. And you got this bright red cardinal, and I think cardinals are pretty spiritual to a lot of people. I think. Yeah, there's a horn outside for confirmation. So a lot of people do identify the cardinal as being this symbol of spirit communicating. So there is a little bit of that too. And with that enthusiastic energy, there really is. There felt to be some deep enthusiasm with this yes. So there is a certain level of spiritual connection involved in this reading. There's a certain level of a deep intuitive connection to the spirit and the universe and that which is more than what we see, the great beyond. There's a certain level of connection and communicating with that. So, regardless of what you're asking about, these readings are general. So people are asking about a lot of things in them, but you very well may have been asking a spiritual question or asking if you are spiritually connected. Do you have the ability to connect with spirit? We all do, so that's definitely a yes. But if that's what you're asking about, there's some more enthusiastic yesness to this. Yes. So let's start with the tarot. You've got 3 cards from the Herbal Tarot. We have the Empress. Ooh, cool. Yeah, she's pretty spiritual. You got the 7 of Cups. Wow. Okay, there really is a lot going on. And then you have the 5 of Swords. Interesting. Okay. So you have a lot of options. So whatever it is you're asking about, it's sort of like there's so much open to you with the 7 of Cups. There's so many opportunities available to you. There's so many different paths you can go down and you can choose. And so keep yourself open. I think that's the biggest piece of advice so far from this reading. Keep yourself open to the possibilities. With the Empress here, she can talk about a lot of times she's depicted as a pregnant woman. So she's birthing something into the world, whether it be actual pregnancy. I don't know. Some people really do use these readings to ask about pregnancy. That's happened a lot. So if you're asking about that and you want it and that's something that's, joyous for you, there's a potential that it's there. I don't know. Not for everybody, obviously, but take it as it resonates. For more than just the few people who that's the case for. the Empress a lot of times talks about birthing creative projects. It's the planning stage, the imagining stage, the dreaming stage, the coming up with the thing stage. So there's really a lot of that. There's a lot of possibility and potential and gravity towards that. Now, with the Five of Swords, what's interesting, this can be a challenging card sometimes. I don't always see it that way. More and more, I'm starting to see the Five of Swords as being this. Um, it's like the point after a battle, right? Sometimes you have to go through challenging situations with other people in particular. This talks very much about relationship dynamics sometimes, where it's like sometimes you have to be the one to walk away from a situation, or you can be left feeling um, like it's like you end up out of a situation that was challenging and harmful, and it's a good thing that you're not in it anymore, but there's still a feeling of feeling a little bit unhappy about how things went in a certain sense. Like, not that you're probably in a much better place now because of it, like being on the other end of it, but it's still like, kind of crummy, the things that you went through with other people. So there's a little bit of that in this involved in this. It's sort of like, you know, you might be at a point now where you're ready to bring something new into your life, and maybe you've left certain relationships or walked away from certain situations, and you feel a little bit um, lost, not lost, that's the wrong word. You feel a little bit uneasy about what you just went through a little bit, but it's sort of like there's this feeling of keep trusting the ideas, keep trusting the vision for yourself, keep trusting in the universe. And the more that you walk towards the things that are meant for you in life, the more that you walk towards your hopes and your dreams and the things you really want, the less um, you're going to feel the sting of that, of any difficulty that you've been through up to this moment. Let's look at some more cards. We've got 3 cards from the 1JJ Swiss deck. We've got the Six of Wands, which is the victory card. I mean, that's beautiful. That's awesome. You got the Six of Cups, 2 sixes. Interesting. 6, 6. We've got the Page of Wands. And I'm just going to do these 2 as well. These are from the Smith-Waite deck. We've got the 8 of Swords. And we've got the Hermit. Yeah, so I do feel like there was a situation that you were involved with in the recent past, in the distant past, stuff with other people that was challenging, and ultimately I think you've left those situations, and they may have been something that have left you feeling stuck. You may have been feeling like you were in a challenging position for a while, but you chose to go off it alone, and there might have been some difficulty in choosing that, right? By choosing yourself. Sometimes choosing yourself can feel selfish, right? When ultimately it's not necessarily a selfish thing. Like the thing about it is like no one else is going to know what you need the most, and no one else is going to 100% be advocating for your needs the way that you can do, right? And so a lot of times, especially depending on the family dynamics that we've grown up in, we can sort of suppress the things that we need for ourselves and say, well, I'm going to sacrifice what I want for trying to make everybody else happy or trying to build up other people. And ultimately, I think that that's an unsustainable thing to do, because we're never going to feel satisfied. We're never going to be happy, and we're probably going to be feeling drained a lot. And so there's a certain level of maybe that's something that you used to do, and it left you feeling pretty stuck and pretty in this situation where, you don't feel like you can move anywhere. And so I do feel like you decided to take this new journey and follow your inspirations and your drives, and that may have led you to walk away from certain people, certain dynamics, certain situations that weren't working out. And like I said, there might be a little bit of this feeling in this moment of feeling a little trepidation and unease in that, but you got this triple yes. So it's like the universe is really on your side here in this choice that you've already made. You know, you have the victory card here. You've already made this choice. So trust in it, you know, trust in the open possibility that's in front of you. And even if you have to be alone for a minute for that, you still have this like beautiful possibility open to you, and you'll probably end up attracting in, you know, people who are much more aligned with where you want to be and where you're going, than anyone who's been in your life so far. So it might be on the short term where you're on your own for a bit as you figure yourself out and you figure out what you want and you figure out the life that's going to be the best for you. But if you decide to do that, you do have this open possibility and this victory here for you. And then, you know, with the Six of Cups, it's like a part of this too. If you do feel a little bit, sometimes the Seven of Cups can talk about not knowing which pathway to choose when we have so many open to us. The thing about it is a part of this pathway forward for you, if you are feeling like you don't know exactly which direction you want to move in, the Six of Cups is here to say, like, there's something about childhood that's helpful for this. Something about, you know, dreams when you were a kid of what you wanted, things that you always imagined for yourself when you were younger. A part of reconnecting to that's a part of this. That as you start to do that, as you start to tune into some of those things that were big for you in childhood, some of the things you loved and used to do and used to cherish, the more that you tune into those types of things, I think the more aligned you're going to feel, and the more in a solid trajectory forwards you're going to start moving. So we have two final cards for you. They're both oracle cards. One comes from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, and that is abundance. Yeah, so you do have this abundant energy coming forward. So whatever it is that you're working on, if it's some kind of creative project or could be a business venture you're asking about or a move or whatever, you know, that enthusiastic yes, it's leading towards this sense of abundance. And abundance doesn't always have to be about money, although a lot of times it can talk about that in these readings. It can also talk about this sense of stability, not being in need, always having your needs met and always having more, a little bit more, you know, being in a position where you just don't have to worry about those sorts of things. I think you're building in this stability for yourself. And it's part of it's coming from this happiness, you know, by prioritizing your own happiness, you're able to build this stability for yourself. And it can only come by you prioritizing yourself in this way. And so, you know, don't feel bad if you've made choices that have been, you know, towards following your own happiness. Don't feel bad about doing that because you had to do that in order to bring about this happiness. And then once you're in this energy, right, this kind of energy is infectious. So by being in abundance, you can share and spread that joy and abundance with others much easier than if you're not in it, right? You can't give something to somebody else that you don't have, right? So, like, by allowing yourself to be abundant, then you have the ability to share that abundance with everyone around you, and so you are able to bring people up in the way that maybe you were trying to do before, from a place of lack that wasn't working. So it really does pay to be following your own dreams and your own happiness and building your own abundance in this way, because then you have the ability to truly share it with everyone around you. Final card comes from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, and it is the Stone. Interesting. I don't actually know this one. This is a new deck for me, so I'm going to read directly from the book here. The Stone. As an archetypal object, the stone holds psychic and literal weight. So more of that psychic energy that was coming in at the beginning of this reading, that spiritual connection. Its energy is one of permanence, concreteness, and reliability. The stone's ability to transform is nearly imperceptible to us, as it changes ever so slowly over countless human lifespans. A single stone may see thousands of generations come and go. Therefore, it contains an ancient and eternal presence. The stone is best used to anchor our wild side, so no matter how far we roam, we can always find our way back. The stone tethers us to earth, helping to ground and connect us to stillness. Its quiet and peace When this card appears, it is likely this stone is a remedy for what ails us. Humble and easily unnoticed, the power of the stone balances the frenzy of our world. So there really is this sense with the stone here of this like stableness. So that's kind of what I think you're building for yourself. You're building that sense of stability, and it's coming from, there's this ancientness to it as well. So it's like you're really tuning into um, that ancient wisdom, right? It talks about being old and going back to past things. So back to the childhood imaginings for yourself. There's a sense of that coming in here, and that sense of grounding, I think, as well, that it talks about is important for you, in the sense that the more that you practice some grounding and really ground into this world, these ideas that you have, that's where this comes in. The page of wands is like, he's a bit of a beginner, so you might be at the beginning stages of bringing something into this world, but just because that's the case doesn't mean that it can't happen. It might take time, but the more that you slowly build this into your life, the more uh, the more it comes in, the more it becomes real, right? So that's a bit about where this stone is coming from as well, is like the importance of grounding into the real world these ideas that you have, and then the importance of that. So the more that you keep working on that, the more that you move yourself forward towards whatever it is that you want. And you really did have that enthusiastic yes. So all things are open to you, you know. So keep that openness, right? You have that Seven of Cups. It's like open possibility is ahead of you. Keep yourself open. That was the main message from the beginning. So yeah. Anyway, pile number 4. I'm going to leave you there, short and sweet. Let me know what you think in the comments. I love hearing from everybody. If you like this reading, let me know. And what I wanted to talk to you about was we're celebrating 1,000 subscribers. So thank you to everyone who subscribed. If you're new, please do subscribe too. It helps a lot. And as a token of thanks, I've discounted all of my private readings. You can find them on the website at junodrome.com. Every reading is 20% off right now. And I am also giving away 2 free private readings to 2 lucky viewers in a raffle. You can find that raffle on the website as well. And 1 lucky viewer will win a little care package from me with some stones. I think some of these obsidian that I got in Oregon will be in there, as well as some other little care package things, a spiritual care package for you. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, pile number 4, and enter the raffle on the website. It's a great chance to get a reading from me and maybe some fun little gifts. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day, pile number 4, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hi there, pile number 5. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be a reading for what is the answer to your yes or no question. So we're going to dive right into that in just a moment. Before I do, real quick, we're celebrating 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much to everyone who subscribed. New viewers, old viewers, returning viewers. If you are new, please do subscribe. It helps. I'm excited to see this channel grow. But as a part of that celebration, there's discounts on my private readings. You can see those on the website. And the more important thing I really want you to know before I dive into the reading is there is a raffle for a free private reading with me. 2 lucky viewers will receive a free reading, and 1 lucky viewer will receive a fun little care package that will have some obsidian like this that I collected from Oregon, as well as a few other little things, spiritual care package. Yeah, you can find that on the website. Now let's dive into this reading. This is a reading for what is the answer to your yes or no question. So I have 3 different methods for generating a yes or a no. We've got the pendulum, the die, and the coin. Excuse me. So we'll do the pendulum first. So you'll get either a triple yes, a triple no, or a maybe leaning in either direction. So first up is the pendulum. We just have to ask it a few questions to make sure that we're getting the right answer. Am I sitting in front of paintings right now? Yes. Am I wearing shoes? No. Am I sitting at a table? Yes, I am. It's kind of being slow. Swing it. Okay, let's start over. I'm using a new pendulum here. There we go. That's better. That I haven't really used a lot in the past because I couldn't find my other one. So let's just ask just two more basic questions. Are there candles at this table? Yes, there are. Is my hair blue? No. Okay. Well, so what's the answer to the question? Okay, the pendulum is saying yes. It's a little hesitant and wasn't the best. So we'll do the other two just to get a real answer here. Coin, heads, yes, tails, no. You got a heads on the coin, so 2 yeses so far. Heads, yes, tails, no on the die. Sorry, even yes, odd no. And this is a 3, I think. Yeah, because the 3 has the whole punch out of it. So 1 no. So 2 yeses, 1 no. This is a maybe leaning yes. So yeah, we'll take that as the answer. Maybe. The answer is maybe. It's leaning yes. So what that means is that right now the major possibility it's probably a yes. The outcome is most likely yes, but there's something going on. There's some hesitation for whatever reason. That yes is not a guaranteed outcome, but yes is the most likely situation. So you chose the pile. Oh, we still have the cardinal from the last reading. You chose the pile here with the books and the plant. So there's a quote on the back of this that says, "If you have a garden and a library, you have everything you need." It's a quote by Cicero. I like that. So what is that? That's knowledge and growth, right? So you have the combination nature and wisdom. Yes is the most likely outcome, but it might take learning. Like there might need to be some growth involved here with the growing. Oh, there's some strong horns going on outside. Okay, so that's the real thing. So in order to make this into a yes, there needs to be some growth that needs to happen first. So it's not a guarantee because there's some change, some growth, some movement in your life and in new directions that need to come into place first in order to really set this off into motion. So let's take a look at the cards to get a better picture of what's going on here. I'm going to set the oracle cards aside for now, and we'll do the tarot first. You have the most cards here from this herbal tarot, so more growth imagery. Let's see what the herbal tarot has to say. You have the 9 of Pentacles. Ooh, that's great. The Queen of Pentacles. There's lots of Pentacles energy here. The Death card. Okay. Don't be too afraid. The death can be scary sometimes, but it's not, it just means change more than anything else. And you have the Ace of Swords. Okay. So yeah, so they're definitely, growth needs to happen here, but the ultimate outcome that you're moving towards is the 9 and the Queen of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles is this it's the second to last card in the Pentacle suit, and it's all about like being in luxury. She's in her own private garden, basking in the finer things of life. So it's like definitely this energy of being in a celebration. And with the grapes here too, I'm just thinking of like what is it? You know those emperors who are lying on their throne and they got grapes, putting into his mouth. I don't know, what is that imagery? One of those Roman emperors or something with grapes uh being given to them where they don't even take them into their hands, they just eat it straight from the vine or whatever. For whatever reason, that's kind of just uh what my mind is going towards there. So it's really is the basking in this luxury, right? So you have luxury coming to you, whatever it is you're asking about. It's open, but it's going to take some growth, right? Ace of Swords, there needs to be a new perspective in your life coming in. The Death card means a change of perspective sometimes. It means the transformation of your inner landscape. So something about the way that you're seeing things right now does need to change to get you to that yes answer. And that's where that maybe is coming in. So it's like yes is still the likely outcome. It's most likely that this is a thing that you're asking about is something that either you really want to have happen or, whatever it is that you're asking about. With it being a maybe, it's like it can get to the yes, but it's going to take some work. It's going to take some dedication on your part. It's going to take the willingness to change. That's a big part of it. You might need to change parts of yourself, parts of your thinking, parts of the way that you've been moving around at things. It might require you to change directions a little bit in order to get there. But just because it requires that change doesn't mean that you can't get there. It's just a little bit of that change is required here. So let's take a look at some more cards. We've got 3 cards from the 1JJ Swiss deck. We've got the Ace of Cups. So definitely some new beginnings energy. 2 aces here. Ace of Cups, so it is a new beginning towards your own happiness as well. So you are moving towards emotional stability, emotional well-being, happiness, joy. We've got the King of Pentacles. You have both the King and the Queen of Pentacles, so it's some serious abundance energy. Seriously, if you are asking about a job or a situation that might be a way to gain money and abundance and stability, there really is a favorability here. It might take schooling, maybe that's what you're asking about. Should I go to school for something? Maybe that's something that you're asking about because this is a general reading. It can be about anything really, but some people I think are asking about that kind of thing. Yes, maybe that's the case. Or, you know, should I go down this career path? Yes, but it might take training. It might take learning something new. It might take working on your own skills. It might take learning something new. The Ace of Swords can talk about a new thinking pattern. So it can be talking about literally about learning new things. The Nine of Wands is here, so there is a bit of this overcoming some kind of struggle as well, and an ultimate overcoming of that. I think that's where you're ultimately leading. I'm going to read the rest of these cards as well, just so we have them all on the table. You have the Queen of Swords. So 2 queens, too. Wow, powerful energy. Oh, the Ace of Cups again. Wow, okay. So yeah, definitely new beginnings. Whenever a card comes up twice, that's like the most important card of the reading. So that's great. And the Hanged Man. Okay, yep. I did feel that. I did feel that Hanged Man energy when I was talking about the Nine of Wands. So I'm glad it came up. With 2 Aces of Cups here. This is really talking about a new beginning in your own well-being, your own happiness. So it's like there is a bit of a change that needs to happen on the internal sphere in order to really move towards this abundance, to move towards this new career, this new job, this new place of living. It can be your environment as well, your own physical health, moving towards peak physical health, whatever it is that you're asking about. A part of where that comes in is following your own happiness too. Setting yourself off in a direction where your happiness is prioritized. Your happiness is what you're opening yourself up to. What is it? What is it that's going to make you happy? Asking yourself that question could really help you in this situation. And so you are overcoming this Hanged Man energy with the Hanged Man and the Nine of Wands. I do feel as though maybe you felt stuck recently in the recent past. Maybe you felt like there's something holding you back, or there's something kind of keeping you in quicksand a little bit, keeping you in the mud a little bit. And a part of what helps you get out of that is acknowledging that this is where you are, and acknowledging that that you don't know, you don't have all the answers right now. I think that's a part of this too, right? And that's where these books and this learning something new, allowing yourself to change your perspective. A lot of times, in order to do that, we have to admit to ourselves that we don't have all the answers, and once you start practicing that, it becomes easier, right? There's a quote of like. Two things I'm thinking of. There's this phenomenon that happens where when somebody doesn't know anything about a subject, a lot of times they overestimate what they know about a subject, right? And they'll say, "Oh, yes, I know so much about this," when in fact they don't know very much of anything at all. And then the more that they start to learn about that subject, the more they understand, "Oh, I don't know anything about this," and so then they don't know anything. And then the curve goes, the more that you learn about that thing, then the more confident you are in your own knowledge of that thing again. So I'm not saying that you overestimate your own knowledge on a certain subject necessarily, but what I am saying is there's a certain aspect of this reading that's saying that um, maybe you're overestimating, or like maybe a part of you being stuck in whatever situation you're in is you are making some assumptions about the journey forward, about a certain career, a certain pathway, a certain thing that you want to do, a certain project you want to work on, whatever it is. Take it as it resonates, whatever it is you're asking about. There's a certain aspect about this where it's sort of like a part of this stuckness is coming from making some assumptions about it, where a lot of times what I'm thinking about is it could be one of those situations where you think, oh well, I could never do this because I can't do X, Y, and Z super specific things, and that's what you have to do in order to get to where that thing is. But in reality, it's like those assumptions you're making might not be based on truth, right? They might not be actually the way that it is, and it's just the way that you're perceiving it to be. And so a certain aspect with this death card is allowing yourself to admit that you don't have all the answers, which can be deeply liberating in these kinds of situations, because like I said, it's a maybe leading yes. So it's like there's a growth and change that needs to happen in order to get there. A part of that growth and change is saying, you know what, I don't actually know all of the answers for this. So like if it is a career thing and like you don't really know how to get there, it might be admitting like, I actually don't know what this career path involves. And so by doing that, then you say, okay, well, maybe I'm going to reach out to somebody who's doing this job, and I can do some kind of uh, informational interview with them to kind of just figure out like what the job is like, any of that kind of thing. Or like, oh, you know what, I'm actually going to do some research and look at some YouTube videos now on this cool thing that I feel like I want to do this thing. I want to learn how to do this thing, but I don't really know very much about it, and I actually know that I don't know very much about it, so I'm going to look into it and learn more things. And it could be sort of one of those situations where more knowledge is required in order to really get you to where you want to go. But that doesn't mean you can't get there. It's just a matter of being open to learning new things, being open to understanding that you don't have all of the answers, and so once you do that, then you're willing to look into more things, and then you're more willing to hear other people's perspectives and learn about other ways of looking at the situation, and understanding new points of view might help you in whatever it is you're asking about. And then by doing so, you open yourself up to the bigger possibilities of things. You open yourself up to being able to see from a clearer perspective all of these possibilities, being able to see from a clearer perspective what it really will take to get you to where you want to go, and then you'll be able to do it because you're open to changing and adapting yourself in any of the direction that's needed in order to truly get there. So we've got two final cards for this reading. They're both oracle cards. The first one comes from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, and it is Stripping Illusions. Yes, I think that it's really, really big in this reading. It's great whenever these oracle cards tend to be super synchronistic to the reading, and I feel like that's really good and important for this, because I do think that there's a certain amount of stripping illusions that needs to happen within you in order to truly move yourself in the direction of whatever it is you're asking about. So it's like you can definitely get to where you want to go. This is a maybe leaning yes. So yes is the likely outcome, but in order to get there, um, you have to start to open up to a new way of looking at things, stripping illusions. Getting down to the very root of what it is, getting to the very root of what it is that you want, not running with these assumptions on what it is you think needs to happen in order to get there, but allowing it to be whatever it needs to be, right? Seeing it for truly what it is and not for what it is that you think it is or want it to be, or in either direction. A lot of times, sometimes these the assumptions that we have are, we're assuming it's going to be too difficult, or we're assuming that things are going to be too challenging, or we're assuming that we could never do something because it requires a skill or an effort that we don't have, when in reality, maybe you really do have that, and there's just a certain aspect of you that's be it ego or whatever you want to call it, that is getting in the way of you fully seeing and realizing and understanding your own true potential. It could be something like that, right? So stripping illusions, it doesn't always mean that we're that we're wrong. It's just that there's something, a lot of times, just based on past experiences, based on what people tell us about ourselves, based on our family dynamics growing up. There's so many things based on our society as it is, because our society is kind of screwed up. You know, there's a lot of things that can get in the way of you fully seeing things for what they are. And so, in order to really get to the point where you're able to make whatever it is you're asking about a yes, it's going to take allowing your perspective to transform and allowing yourself to open up to a new way of seeing yourself. Maybe fully seeing your strengths, fully seeing that you are capable of doing this thing. And maybe fully seeing that, like, releasing timetables. There's a horn outside, so that's a big one. Releasing the need to have something happen this moment, right? Allowing things to take time, building a sense of patience for yourself, realizing that, this thing that I really want, I might be expecting it to happen tomorrow or even like next year, but in reality, it might be a 10-year project, or it might be something that's going to take a long time and a lot of effort. And so I have to learn how to pace myself now, and that could be what needs to be learned. I have to learn how to see this as something that isn't an immediate gain for me, and instead is something that's a something I have to build into a life. You could be running a marathon right now in trying to make something happen, where you could be sprinting towards what you're trying to make happen when it's really a marathon that you're in, right? So it's like, you have to learn how to pace yourself and build it into your life. I'm just thinking about how there's a lot of projects and stuff that I've been working on for a long time, that for a while I was thinking were things I was going to have, pretty immediately. So I was like working really, really hard and kind of burning out on things because I was trying to make things happen immediately, right? And eventually I had to learn how to make it a part of my day-to-day life. So it's like, there could be an over focus on whatever it is you're trying to do, and part of what you need to learn to do is like have a work-life balance with it. Learn how to have hobbies and free time and downtime and rest time and all of that kind of thing as well, while you build this thing, because you have to build it into your life in a sustainable way. Learning how to build this process, this work into your life in a sustainable way might be something that could help you. So the final card comes from the Archetypes deck, the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, and it is the Sword. So I'm going to read from the book because this is a new deck for me. To use the sword is to decide. The blade separates one reality from another. The choice is made, and all else falls away. If you find the sword in your grasp, you can no longer hesitate. This weapon requires clear and decisive mind and a willingness to act. An onlooker may think the sword bearer is hasty and violent, but the most compassionate and responsible gesture is one that is honest, swift, and accurate. Our first encounter with the sword is at birth, when the cord we share with the mother is cut. This moment defines our separation from her and begins our journey of becoming ourself. We must take these cuts again and again if we are to grow. Decisions shape our life, and the sword is an infamous shaper of destiny. So yeah, the sword too. You have the Ace of Swords here, so it's a double sword, and the stripping illusions. I just feel like this is totally about that cutting away. There really is certain thought processes, even thought loops that you might be having. You might be having this might be about changing your the way that you think about yourself, or the way that you talk to yourself. Our thoughts really end up dictating our reality a lot of the time, and it's not always like a so you don't have to think of it in a total woo woo way to really understand it. It's sort of like the way that you perceive the world shapes the way that you move through the world. And so the way that you perceive yourself shapes how you act. It's all about that. And so there really is this cutting away energy that's required for you. Um, it might take meditation as well. With the Queen of Swords, you could look into some certain meditation practices, because sometimes she's basically got a mala on her sleeve here, um, which is kind of great. So a mala is like the Buddhist prayer beads, Buddhist and Hindu prayer beads, and they're used as a tool for meditation a lot and chanting. But there could be some meditative practices that help you, clearing the mind, clearing away any anxiety or any thoughts like that. The sword can come to cut away. Also like what it is that you're worried about, or what you're thinking about. Like there's a book. I can't remember the name of it, but it's preface of like, we only have so many F's to give in life, right? And so the more that you are worried about, the less mental capacity that you have to focus on the things you really want. So it could be a lot of that too, of clearing away anything that's in your mental sphere, clearing those things away so that you can really focus on these things that could bring you happiness as well. So yeah, anyway, pile number 4, I'm going to leave you there. Pile number 5, sorry, I'm going to leave you there. Um, if you enjoyed this reading, let me know what you think either way. Actually, let me know in the comments. I love hearing from everybody. Like I said at the beginning, we are currently celebrating 1,000 subscribers. So thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed to the channel. If you are new to, please do subscribe. It really does help out. As a token of my thanks, I'm giving away 2 private readings and 1 spiritual care package. You can enter that raffle on the website at www.junodrome.com. And I'm also discounting all of my private readings. So a private reading with me is now 20% off each and every one of my readings. So you can find those readings available on the website as well at www.junodrome.com. So anyway, pile number 5, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye.